Hello, everybody. Welcome to Matthew's Interviews. Today's guest is Night Terrors. How are you today, sir?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm wonderful. It's been a very productive day, and I'm feeling much, much better. So, some facts
Good, good.
about their YouTube channel, and I say there for a good reason. It's not just one person running the channel, it's four people running the channel, which is quite interesting. I'm actually quite excited to see what they can do together. They joined February 9th of 2019, but their first video uploaded was January of 2021. They have 6,765 estimated account views, 164 subscribers, 14 videos, and their most popular video is 3 disturbing basement stories based on true stories with 618 views. So, what was your driving force to become a YouTuber?
I mean, it's kind of a loaded question, but I guess to become a YouTuber, the four of us always loved and had an appreciation for the horror community. And we were all inspired by YouTubers and narrators such as like Mr. Nightmare, Corpse Husband, Lazy Masquerade. And then that was really we enjoyed them so much growing up that we just figured, let's just test the waters and let's see if we can do it ourselves. So,
Now, why did you choose to focus on narrations?
well, we initially weren't going to. So the channel it was started in, as you mentioned, 2019. We were actually initially going to be producing a whole bunch of short horror films. And we have a whole bunch of scripts. We have some footage done, and then COVID hit, and unfortunately, we couldn't really do much more filming. So narration just kind of seemed like the next step. So we just stuck with that for the last few months and have loved it. So.
Now, I gotta ask, why were you guys like unable to upload as soon as you created the channel?
That was when we were going to be producing. So we had some scripts written for some actual films, most of them being 10 minutes, 50 minutes and less, with just a whole bunch of other kind of genres, subgenres in the horror industry. And that's why we never got around to actually uploading them. So the channel just sort of stayed dormant until we figured let's do something with it. And actually, some of those scripts that we had for some short films actually have now transitioned into some of our stories and narrations.
Okay, okay, that's understandable, especially with everything going on.
Yeah,
Now I gotta ask you. Some of your questions do focus on somewhat paranormal, and
yeah.
so have you or anyone in your crew experienced something paranormal?
Unfortunately, I haven't. I would love to say that I have, but just to kind of add to the whole atmosphere as far as being a horror narrator. But I personally haven't suffered anything supernatural, paranormal myself. Not to say that I don't um, not believe in those kind of things happening. It's just I personally haven't had it experience for myself, anyways.
Has anyone else in your crew experienced something?
Not that I'm aware of, not paranormal. One of our stories that is upcoming at some point within the next month or two is actually a story that happened to one of the guys from our team, and it's actually a clown story, and it was pretty terrifying. It happened during the whole clown pandemic, what was going on years ago, and so that's not paranormal, but it was I mean, pretty terrifying stuff. So
Well, that's actually perfect that you mentioned that because my next question for you is, have any of you experienced something strange or scary in in our in general?
yeah, yeah. I mean, I think. each one of us have probably one or two incidents that have been now written into scripts for narration. We usually don't let too many people know that it was personal, but they're in there. There's one that was already it's already been uploaded that happened to again one of our members that was in the Valentine's Day episode, and it was again pretty scary stuff. So,
Ooh, what happened?
it was it's the second story in that episode. But yeah, it was creepy stuff. I can't really get into because we had to actually cut out some of it because it was a little bit more, I guess, graphic and sinister than what we actually narrated.
Okay.
And that thing we usually kind of take that into consideration too when it's not just our stories, because we also get submissions from subscribers and Twitter followers, and then we usually ask them if should we modify certain events, and or do you want to stay anonymous and whatnot. But yeah, that's why we usually try to keep everything kind of as close to, I don't want to say PG, but as close to like kind of rated R and not go above that anyway. So
That's understandable. Um, Now, when it comes to cryptids, do you believe in cryptids?
honestly, and it sounds kind of like a weird answer. I will probably believe anything that is unbelievable. So, and not to say that um, I'm kind of oblivious and whatnot, but I kind of just, I always kind of keep my eyes and ears open, anyways, and I'm never going to shut anything down. So, if someone has a story that sounds realistic, I'm all ears all the time. So,
Okay, okay. Now, you've narrated quite a few stories now. You have 14 videos. What
yeah.
was your favorite story to narrate?
I don't know. I guess each one of them kind of has almost like it's almost like having like your own, like it's like a child kind of thing, because you kind of get so involved with each one of those stories. So I don't know if I have an absolute favorite. Um, some of the ones in like the one of the camping stories that was sent to us from a subscriber, was that one creeped us out quite a bit. And then I think it comes being a YouTuber, you kind of start to get a little bit better at your craft. So I think, at least for myself, and I can't speak for the rest of us, but you almost start to appreciate more of your updated content or your newer content, because you get a little bit better at editing, a little bit better at narrating, etc. I mean, I'm sure that that goes for a lot of YouTubers out there.
That's fair. That's fair. I can attest to that statement.
I was going to
Absolutely.
ask you, do you have like a favorite person you've interviewed so far, or
Ah,
it's pretty
that's a
loaded? I
really
know.
loaded question. That's gonna get me a lot of hate. Um, well, if I'm being honest with you, I try not to keep favorites.
Mhm.
Um, because being an interviewer, you choose to interview people, and I try not to keep the mindset of this guy was better to interview than this guy, or
Yeah,
because I can't speak on this too much, but in different
you know what?
communities,
Don't,
no,
yeah,
no,
don't
it's
do
okay.
that.
It's okay. I wouldn't say it if it wasn't too dangerous. But in different communities, there are different levels of toxicity.
Mhm.
And in one of the communities that I interviewed a couple people of, there is some clear problems with each
Mhm.
other's opinions. And
Yep.
being an interviewer, I don't take sides because I like to interview everybody regardless of opinion or regardless of who they like or don't like. But
Yep.
in terms of what my favorite interviews have been, there are a few that I did enjoy more. I wouldn't say more. I did really enjoy, just in general. I really
Sure.
enjoyed interviewing 242,
Yep.
Mortis, Let's Read. Really, I really enjoyed just everybody I've interviewed. But I think in terms of quality and content, I think that Mortis had a lot to offer. Let's
Sure.
Read, Mr. Spooks, 242.
Yeah.
Oh man, I actually have to. As we speak, I have to bring up my list here because I've interviewed already like 14 people in just
Yeah.
this 1 month I've been doing this. Um, I've only been at this a month. Can't believe it. But
I know.
Mortis, Let's Read, Mr. Spook. That was a fun one. I really had a lot of fun.
Yeah.
As the Raven Dreams was fun.
Yeah.
242, Miss Creepy Tales, PA, Nightmares. Ezra, Vexorus, Voice of the Night was a fun interview. My interview I
Yeah.
just did with TDN Horror Stories just a few minutes ago was
Yeah.
a lot of fun as well. Um,
Nice.
really, all of them were fun in different ways, but those are the ones that really stand out.
Sure.
Stolkin Reviews was fun as well, and Red Nova,
Yeah.
he was awesome. But yeah, and to answer
I
your
think that's a neat
question,
concept. I think, yeah, like to you interview people of kind of all backgrounds, which is great because you kind of see a brand new element of not just the horror community or not just the gaming community or politics or this or that. You just kind of dive right into anything, which is I think that's pretty admirable, anyways. So
well, I appreciate that. Yeah, I just try to interview everybody. I just love to interview people in general. I think it's really fun to sit there and delve and just have a conversation. Um,
most definitely.
Now, if it was feasible for you and your crew, would you want to be? Would you guys want to be full time YouTubers?
I guess. I mean, again, I don't know if I can answer on their behalf. I think it would be a lot of fun. Like we're really enjoying the growth of our channel in such a short period right now. So I don't know if that's in the cards for us, but we just really enjoy making content to entertain people. And if that's really all we ever get out of this, and it's not a full time thing, we I know I can at least speak for myself. I would be perfectly content with that. If this is kind of if our stories or videos are something that someone can like, we've had messages where people are saying that uh, they'll fall asleep to some of our stories at night, and or they'll watch them when they get home from work. We just appreciate that kind of stuff. So if it's entertaining in the slightest bit to really anybody out there, that's really all we're looking for. And if it turns out to be a full time gig, I mean, most definitely. I mean, obviously, we'd be honored to be to paid to or to be paid to do this. But for now, we're just kind of enjoying the ride and hoping that people are enjoying it as well. So
That's understandable. So you guys just kind of do it for fun, and you guys really,
yeah,
you hope for one thing. You know, you hope that it could happen, but you just are there for the ride, no matter what.
yeah,
That's awesome. And being there for the fans is all that really matters. That's
100%.
also why I do
Yeah,
these interviews because sometimes I get people messaging me and being like, "Hey, have you considered interviewing this person?" And I'm like, "I'll interview anybody." That's my tagline.
yeah.
I should make that my motto. I will interview anybody because I will.
Do you have that brings up a good question? Do you have and doesn't matter the size of the channel or the genre or anything, but do you have maybe like a bucket list, like a top three or a top five
Actually,
YouTubers?
actually, I do. And funny enough, I've already interviewed a couple of the people on that list. So my
Nice.
top five is, I have to say is and was because, like I said, I've already interviewed a couple of them. My full list is not in any particular order. Swamp Dweller, Darkness
Hmm.
Prevails, Let's Read,
Yep.
Mortis Media, and Lazy Masquerade. Um,
Yeah, that's a pretty good list
and
right there.
as you know, I've already interviewed Let's Read and Mortis Media, so that's two out of the five.
Yeah.
And I'm really
Yeah.
I forgot there's Raven Reads as well. I love Raven Reads.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
and but the problem with this bucket list is it keeps growing. As the more I interview people, the more channels I'm checking out for interviews and whatnot, I realize, oh my god, there's a lot of people I want to interview, like above all
Right. Yeah.
else.
I think
But
it's like the same thing with like when people have like a bucket list for musicians or artists that they want to see, and they write all these things down and they really start to check them off. But then new artists come out and it's, you so badly want to go
oh
see
yeah, oh
whoever it
yeah,
is, and
and like if we're talking big names, those are the six, you know.
yeah,
But there's also some others in there that are big names, like Mr. Creeps, um, Demon
yep,
Creeps. Um,
hmm,
there's so many. I can't even really think because I have all these names coming to mind really quick and jumbling over each other. Um, but there's also the list of people that I want to get early while they're still growing because I know that they're going to be big channels like 242, Mr. Spook,
yep,
Miss Creepy Tales,
yep,
Vexorus, PA Nightmares, Ezra Reads, As the Raven Dreams, Red Nova, You Guys, TDN, Voice of the Night. Pretty much all my latest interviews have been people that I know are going to be big, so I'm doing this as soon as I can because not only do I enjoy their content to the fullest, like I do not lie. That's one of my key things in life is I don't lie. Especially having a child now, I don't want him to learn to lie.
yep,
But
yeah,
when it comes to this, I do not lie at all. And I honestly love all the content of the people I interview because I have to check it out for the interview. And I learn, oh,
yeah,
wait, I really like this. And while a lot of these people are smaller names now with, a few hundred to a few thousand subscribers, I know they're going to grow. And I know they're going to become big at
yeah,
some point. So if I can do it early, I have the I have the privilege of being like, yeah, I remember when I interviewed them when they were still a smaller channel, but now that they're big, it's um, but I'm just,
harder to do. It's harder to pick
oh
up
yeah,
the phone and call Mr. Nightmare and say, "Hey, buddy,
right,
I want to do an interview." But yeah,
right, like
but no,
but in terms of bucket list, yeah, Let's Read, Mortis Media, Swamp Dweller, Darkness Prevails, Lazy Masquerade, and Raven Reads. Those are my big ones right now that I really, really want to interview. And I reached out
yeah,
to all of them, and
yeah,
obviously the ones I've been able to interview, I have, and there's some talks about it with some of the others, but I really hope that they can, eventually find the time. But I know a lot of them are busy people, so it's in the works. But yeah, yeah,
nice.
that's to answer your question. Yeah, but at the end of the day, I just like to interview everybody, regardless of channel size, regardless of subscriber base, regardless of popularity. I generally
Yeah,
will interview anybody because I just like to interview. Um, but with that
well, that's
said,
awesome.
you guys have considerable plans for your future videos for your channel. Do you guys have anything
Yep.
planned besides narrations now that you guys have started and are growing?
Yeah, I mean, I think we might eventually kind of, again, pending everything that's going on in the world right now, and with the other three from Night Dares, it's, I mean, they don't live anywhere remotely close to. Well, we none of us live close to each other. We're all in the states, and um, some of us are in different states altogether. So it's hard to kind of get everybody all together and do something as a team. But I mean, I would love to be able to actually get back on track with some of our short horror stories, or sorry, short horror videos and movies that we have scripts for. Um, as far as continuing, we like with the actual channel. One of our goals was that we didn't want to get any type of writer's block and be really scrambling to get a story just so we could upload it. We kind of felt that it would almost be cheating our subscribers or anybody else who would be tuning in. So we wanted to make sure that our stories were something that people would actually enjoy. So for that sake, we kind of made it really our goal to have 52 episodes, or slightly more. It might be about 56 episodes worth, with 3 stories in each one, all kind of prepared before we even started narrating. So we have a lot kind of lined up for the future, and whether some of those need to be modified, or maybe some of them won't make the cut. But yeah, we have kind of a lot of stuff in the fire right now, which is kind of exciting for us, anyways.
That's awesome. I'm actually really glad to hear that. And that sounds like you have a lot lined up, and I'm excited to hear them. I would say see them, but generally hear them. Um,
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, you're welcome. Now, where do you find your stories to narrate? I know you mentioned that you get them from subscribers, but do you get them from anywhere else besides you
Yeah,
guys and subscribers?
yeah. So the vast majority of them will be sent to us from subscribers. Um, Again, through either YouTube, or if it's any followers on Twitter, that kind of stuff. But then it's also there's a couple of people from my tears that are I can I guess I'm slightly biased, but they're phenomenal writers, and they just come up with these really interesting and creepy ideas for stories. So we'll kind of go through a group text, and we'll try to figure out what kind of themes we want to do for stories, and if we want to do something based off of clowns or addicts or whatever it is, we'll all kind of collaborate together and kind of write something down. And it's strange to say it, but I think some of the best stories that we have are the stories that you're not working hard to actually write. They just kind of the idea of the story just kind of comes to you, and it's very very strange. You can be drinking your coffee in the morning, getting ready for your day, and then you think of this really really creepy concept. And I think some of our stories, some of our best ones that we've narrated or written, have come under those kind of pretenses, and not something that we're really kind of forcing to get a story out.
Okay. Now, who has had the biggest positive impact on your channel since you started? Who has really helped push you guys out there?
Oh, I don't know if I could single out any individual person. I mean, we're so thankful for the horror community. The horror narration community is just something so exciting and so fun to be with, because everyone is so supportive and appreciative of each other, which is great. And I think that's one of the biggest things. You can kind of, especially being a newer YouTube channel, and if you're not seeing views come in or subscribers, it can kind of be hard to kind of look at that and think, oh, this was an amazing episode. Why is it not getting the views that we anticipated? But it's almost like having like a gym buddy, because those other horror narrators, chances are they've gone through it as well too. So they kind of keep your spirits up, and they just say, "Oh, no, you know what? We've had a video like that, or a couple videos like that. So just keep grinding." But yeah, I can't single out any individual one. There's just been so many that have really kind of kept us motivated over the last few months to kind of keep going. So
Okay. Now, in all that you've done, is there anyone specific you'd like to mention that has it doesn't necessarily have to do with being an impact on your channel, but is there anyone just in general that you would like to mention or shout out?
I mean, I'll shout you out, man. I mean, this is awesome to kind of actually sit down and talk about this kind of stuff. So I mean, we appreciate kind of the stuff that you do, and obviously you're so intertwined with and enjoy, and you can even sense that just talking to you. You thoroughly enjoy horror narration. So yeah, definitely you. And then obviously there's uh, other people. Papa Scare, he's a really good one. We'll see if we can message him and see if he can do an interview with you as well too, because he'd be a fun one. So
Actually, I think I already have one lined up with him. But thank you.
dude, awesome.
And thank you for the shout out. I really do appreciate it. And to further on what you were saying, yes, I'm intertwined with the horror community. Um, Maybe not as much as others, but I am a little bit. But I think it's because I bring a genuine, honest personality with me. Because when I was younger, 5% of what I watched was video game reviews and let's plays, so I knew what product I'd be buying because I'm a gamer.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
the other 95% was all narration because I've always loved listening to narrators,
yep.
especially in the horror community. And I don't know, I just have a big love for the horror community and everybody in it, big or small, any channel. I just love horror narrations in general. But thank you for the shout out. Honestly,
No.
it's an amazing feeling. I haven't been shouted out yet, so thank you so much, man.
It's kind of the horror narration is that it's a really strange concept though, because like, and again, I can't speak on behalf of other horror narrators, but chances are we're trying to scare the fuck out of our viewers. Like that's the goal. But a lot of them, like they again, as I mentioned earlier, like people will listen to our stories and it helps soothe them and put them to sleep, or it helps relax them after a long day at work. And I mean, if that's if that's what you enjoy, great. But it's definitely not our intent is to calm you down. We're trying to, as I mentioned, just scare the shit out of you. So
I actually just double checked my notes. I don't have one set up with him, but I believe we are in talks of setting one
nice,
up because well,
really, really good
I
guy.
like his narrations, and yes, he is a very good guy. Um, Now I have started seeing you guys appear on Twitter a lot in a lot of different places. You know, you guys are starting to definitely get noticed. What has that been like for all of you to know that your account and you guys in general are just being noticed for your hard work?
I mean, it kind of comes down to similar to that of like the growth of our YouTube channel, and with views and whatnot. We didn't really know what to expect. So as far as um, followers and subscribers and whatnot, we there was really no goal for us. But it's just we're just happy that people are enjoying our stuff. And I mean, it seems a little bit surreal. I kind of stay back on I'm not hugely involved within our social media, so I don't do a lot of the hard work there. But when I look at it and I'm seeing that people are actually kind of responding to stuff, it's pretty cool. Like as I mentioned, something that we wouldn't really necessarily expect even a few months ago, but it was just kind of we're happy, we're fortunate that people are enjoying this. So
Now, how long does it take you guys as a group to make a video?
it really depends. It's a lot faster right now because we have so many episodes and so many stories prepared. Um, some episodes, the editing process can take 3 hours. Sometimes it can be we might go through an entire episode that's almost ready to be uploaded, and we'll kind of rewatch it just to make sure it's kind of up to our own standards, what we would enjoy watching. And if it doesn't cut it, then we just start from scratch. So there's some days where there's a lot of frustration, and we kind of just some days videos take longer. Some days my voice sounds probably as bad as it does right now. Sometimes it sounds a little bit better, and I kind of relish those days and try to narrate as much as possible. So
Now, where do you guys find the art for your thumbnails?
for thumbnails, there's a lot of like free to use stuff. There's stuff that we've actually taken from like that we've taken ourselves. But yeah, a lot of like free to use like stock work, that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's fortunately there's a lot of good stuff out there, um, and we're just kind of thankful that photographers have kind of done the hard work and have come up with some amazing artwork and photography that they're letting the world use for free. So
Now, what has it been like to run a YouTube channel with a team of 4 people?
it's different. It's definitely different. We all kind of have our own jobs. We'll kind of tap in and tap out, and um, if someone's kind of burning out for a little bit and they're just kind of want to take a break, and then other people step up. So it really is, and not to sound corny or cliche, but it really is kind of like a teamwork to kind of get everything where we want it, and be happy with, or at least satisfied with the actual product. Um, but it's fun. It makes things. And I haven't been a YouTuber before this, so it's all kind of relatively new. So I don't know what it's like to be a solo YouTuber. So that would be, I guess, more of a question for you. But um, it's fun to at least have someone to bounce some ideas off of before it kind of gets to that uploading phase. So if we have again ideas for stories or ideas for editing, intros, outros, that kind of stuff, it's fun to be able to keep our kind of sense of staying anonymous, being a horror narrator, but also able to bounce things off each other and get advice. So, which really does, it takes the load off of each one of us to an extent. But what's it like? I guess I back off of you. Is it, do you find it difficult to be like a solo YouTuber, or is it a lot on your own shoulders?
Well, how can I say this? It is. It can be fun being, solo doing this,
Yeah,
but it can also be rough because when there are periods where I'm sick and I can't fulfill an interview, I have to go and tell these people, hey, I'm sick and I can't give you the interview that you deserve to have. Can we
yeah,
reschedule? And it breaks my heart. It shatters it because I don't like to build up and advertise for these interviews that are coming out and then not be able to fulfill it both for my fans and for the person I'm interviewing because they're taking the
exactly.
time to schedule it in and I can't fulfill that because I'm genuinely sick or unable to, and it just shatters me to pieces. So sometimes I do wish that I had one other person who could, fill in from time to time,
Yeah,
or could come up with questions because it can be a lot to come up with a question on, a set of questions of 20, 30, sometimes 40 questions on your own. But at the
yeah,
same time, there's also the freedom of, maybe I can bring something to the table that's, my possible partner couldn't. Like if
yeah,
I'm in the middle of the interview and I have to come up with a question because you or my guest mentioned something that I want to delve deeper on, maybe either I'll catch it and they wouldn't have been able to catch it, or maybe they would catch it that I wouldn't have. And
yeah.
so sometimes I do wish that I had a partner in crime to help me with different things, but at the same time, I think each way of doing a YouTube channel, whether it's alone or with a partner, has an advantage and a disadvantage.
Most definitely.
But if we change the question a little bit, if I wish I had a partner, yes. Am I looking for a partner? Possibly. If the right person comes along and they want to put in the time and the work to build this channel with me, I would absolutely say yes. Um, but at the same time, not everyone wants to do an interview slash narration channel, which is what I am. I'm currently working on it
Yeah,
on narrations, but because my voice hasn't been up to par, and I just got this laptop as I was sick, it's been very hard to upload my first narration because my voice isn't able to produce what it needs to for the
yeah,
narrations. And with that, my illness isn't just from the COVID shot. I also have asthma, so sometimes the change of season, maybe little something in the air could affect my asthma, which affects my breathing, which makes it harder
yeah.
at times to be able to do a narration without a bunch of breath breaks. So in a way, I wish I did have a partner for the narration piece, because they could edit it,
Yeah.
and I could just read the script or the story, and they could edit it. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think
I mean, you're doing from an outsider's point of view, man. You're doing just perfect as going solo right now. So
I agree. I think with the interviews, I'm doing great on my own. But I think when I
yeah,
really start getting the narrations, I might be looking for somebody to do the editing and maybe the little fixing up and whatnot. Like, just to help out, because it's a lot. I'm a full time father. I'm a full time college student. I'm a full time worker. Um, and I'm constantly busy. So
it's
it would be
yeah. You
it would
sounds
be
like you got like
nice.
9 jobs kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, to answer your question, yes, yes, and really yes. I think I'd do well with a partner. Maybe
Yeah.
not on the
Nice.
interview front, but with the other things I plan on doing for the channel, especially with the narrations, I might need somebody. But well, either everybody's taken or nobody's interested. So it's kind of where that lies at the moment.
Probably speak for the rest of the horror narration community. I mean, we'd be looking forward to you kind of diving into it, anyways, and narrating yourself. That'd be pretty fantastic. So
Well, I'm working on it. I've already done one narration, but I just need to edit it up, and I don't have like the appropriate software yet because of money that I really don't want to spend yet, and because I've been sick, so like it's not at its best quality,
yeah.
sadly. But but with this, now that we're talking about narrations, I gotta ask, why were you of your team chosen to do the narrations mainly?
So I don't know. I guess I'd always had a few compliments in the past about being able to do like a higher or a lower voice. And generally, when I narrate, um, it almost sounds like I used to smoke, but I don't, or never did. So it's kind of almost like a slightly raspy, and I, for some reason, I guess the rest of them thought that my voice would be best for it. I'm sure they could kind of dive in and do just as good of a job as I can. So I just kind of I go with it, and fortunately, we haven't had too many people that despise my voice so far, anyway. So we'll just kind of keep going with it for now.
Well, I like your narration voice, so they made a good
Thank
decision.
you.
Y'all made
Thank
a good decision. But I think there was one video I watched where it was someone else narrating. I liked their voice too. Um,
you. Yeah, yeah.
but I don't think you sound like you used to smoke. Honestly,
Okay.
do I?
I appreciate it.
Do I sound like I used to smoke?
Not at all. No, no,
Really?
no.
When I was younger, I did. Smoked a lot, so I'm
Oh,
actually
there you go.
surprised to hear
Okay.
that. Now, um, my final question for you today. Do you have
Mhm.
anything you want to say to your fans, friends, family, or Discord/Twitter friends before we finish up? Either you or anyone of your team, or maybe all of you.
Um, Thank you. Thank you for kind of supporting us and enjoying, hopefully enjoying our content and for what's to come. Um, Without our, um, well, I guess I can't really say our family because our family and friends actually don't know that we run this. So, um, but as far as like our fans go, or subscribers or followers, anything like that, thank you. We really do appreciate the kind words that we get, the comments, the likes on our videos, and shares and retweets, all that kind of stuff. It means a great deal to us, and it means that um, someone out there is actually again enjoying our stuff that we're working hard to put together.
All right. Thank you today for being here. It means a lot to me that you guys were able to schedule in a time for you to come on here and let me talk with you. I
Yeah,
really
thank you.
hope to have you back. Um,
We'd love to. Yeah.
Either just you or even one other member of your team or even all of you. I would love to have you guys back.
But yeah,
Um,
no, really, thank you very much for having us. This is been fun.
oh, man, it's been fun for me too. Honestly, I'm just a bit tired, but no, thank you so much. I hope you have a wonderful day. And anybody who watched this, please like and subscribe for more great content coming your way from both Night Terrors and I in the future. Um, I hope the viewer has a wonderful day, and I hope you have a wonderful day, Night Terrors. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks, you too, man.